Okay, good morning, everybody. Uh, this is the losers bracket finals between Eery and Greeky. It's gonna be a best of 5 of the Winter Championship tournament. Winner of this series goes on to face Zerden in the finals, and that's taking place tomorrow. So keep an eye on the Discord for that start time. I don't think it's been 100% confirmed yet, but I'm sure somebody in chat will let you know. Game 1 here between Eery and Greeky will be on Oasis. Both players are ready, so we'll get underway. Just a quick shout out for Striker for hosting this tournament. It's been quite the success so far, some really good series too. Let's hop into game 1 here. Just waiting for both players to click in or accept the invite. I'm hoping the sound balance is good, but if not, let me know whether you want my voice higher or the game sound effects higher, music lower. Oh, okay, hold on, party was bugged. Hit the party bug. Okay, there we go. Well, I'm excited for this matchup. It's going to be a Celt versus Celt on Oasis. Now we've seen Greeky using Celt quite a bit this tournament. And he's played him quite well, considering he's fairly new to that civ. And we all know Eery and his Celts. One of it, or probably I'd say his best civ. So in the northwest, we have Greeky spawning in the color red. And then in the southeast, we have Eery in the color blue. Right off the bat, both players moving their starting villagers to that wood to get that early barracks. Obviously, it's kind of the meta for today's game, especially for Celt. Eery actually has his hunt fairly forward. I need to keep an eye on, I guess, the spawns here. I see 2 hunts for Eery. The one for Greeky, kind of on the side of his base. Also look at the golds. So far looks good. I will do my best ace. So we see a couple spearmen already in queue for Eery. Greeky just finishing up his barracks now. Right away queuing up some spearmen. So I don't see a second hunt yet for Greeky. There's this one. So I think that's pretty fair. The spins. Somebody needs to make a macro spin that does it perfectly for the town centers. That'd be cool. So both players just rallying their spearmen to their starting hunt. No hunting dogs yet for either player, but Greeky scouting out Eery's location. There's a couple deer that haven't been killed yet, so hopefully Eery gets on top of that before they wander off. And it actually looks like Greeky's going to be the one pushing forward. Eery does get a hit with his scout to distract these spearmen. One just has a full extra hunt. I'd say it's okay. Players should be able to adapt with this spawn. Obviously, Oasis is kind of famous for having most of the resources spawn around the center pond. Obviously, it can be walked on by land units. You have 7 spearmen, 7 spearmen of Eery. You see hunting dogs in queue for Greeky. No hunting dogs yet for Eery. 9 spearmen to the 7, so Greeky does have the numbers. Could choose to fight that if you'd like. No, nothing from the player, so there it's go time. Looks like Greeky's going for a move. He wants to go get some villagers. 10 spearmen to the 10 of Eery. And that's a lot of 8 idle villagers now. Like, just doing this little run by is causing quite the impact to Eery's food income, even these villagers. The villagers 18 to 18. Neither player going up to the Bronze Age just yet. It looks like Eery does manage to snare one of Greeky's spearmen for a second. There's 3 more reinforcements here though. 14 to 14, but Greeky getting attacked by some wolves. Okay, Greeky's the first one to click up to the Bronze Age. Eery's actually just that little aggressiveness from Greeky's causing quite the delay on Eery's age up time. Greeky is getting caught here though. You're getting a lot of free hits, but just forcing these villagers away again. Greeky actually, or Eery has to get Picker's gloves. And these spearmen aren't going to be really useful in age 2 as these players transition into lawn swordsmen, so this is actually pretty good for Greeky. No stone yet for Eery, and it looks like Greeky right away has his resources for that second town center, choosing to build it fairly defensively. Does know Eery's pretty good at denying important buildings, so it doesn't want to get that sniped. You see a little raid here from Eery. Might get a couple villagers. See how quick Greeky responds. Will he get away? Good reaction time there by Greeky. Avoids losing any villagers. Look at villager count. 22 villagers for each player, so I think no villager kills yet. So far in this early game, looking pretty good for Greeky. It's a little behind in population, but I like his build a little bit better. This is actually a pretty sizable army though for Eery, so he might have a little bit of a timing window. Scout skirmish in the center. Greeky getting that handsaw and Picker's gloves. Eco upgrades, dropping down a second barracks. Well, we already see 2 barracks for Eery. He's starting to gather stone. Neither player has gone for a dock just yet. Oh, never mind. Just the building foundation for Eery. And I like what he just did there. He pulled his villager, or stopped his villager from building, just to avoid it having scouted by Greeky. And then he'll rebuild it now as he scared this army away. Yeah, so this is a pretty big army for Eery. About 25 infantry units. Let's have a look at the lawn swordsman count. 9 for Greeky. 12 for Eery. So yeah, this is a fight Greeky cannot take. Villager count 33 to 28. So Greeky is up by 5 vills due to this second town center getting up a lot quicker. Eery still needs 100 more stone. So if Greeky can just survive maybe this next minute, he'll be in a really nice position. Throwing down a third barracks. So a little bit of a house wall here protecting his lumberjacks. $14 lawn swordsman for Greeky and 15 for Eery, and oh, that was a little bit of miss micro there. Eery managing to get some free kills. He is fighting under Greeky's town center fire though. Oh no 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 no! A pathing by the villagers. Wow, able to get out of there with only a couple losses. We'll see some fishing boats out for Eery. He's getting a couple villager kills. Have a look at the villager kills. 41 for Greeky, 36 for Eery. Greeky's still in the lead. Is dropping down a sacred grove, 2 sacred groves as his 4th and 5th production buildings. See the 3rd barracks for Eery, and he's throwing his second town center quite a bit forward, securing an additional hunt, another gold. Keep in mind he does have this dock, so far Eery does have the better map control. One thing Greeky will have to be careful, once this gold mine runs out, he'll have to move out to one of these other gold mines that are fairly exposed. You'll have to start thinking about that transition. 25 lawn swordsmen in the army for Eery, and 27 for Greeky. So if Greeky can get a couple druids out and then force a fight here in the next maybe 30 seconds, I think it should go pretty well for him. Doing good, throwing down some watch posts. That map vision. Does have an armory up, but no armory techs in queue just yet. Looks like Eery's gonna go for a raid. And Greeky actually has to destroy this house to get these villagers out without losing any of them. And that does pop cap him a little bit. Eery does manage to destroy a couple more houses, so Greeky is really house capped right now. 47 villagers to 52, so Greeky is maintaining that 5 villager lead. Looks like he's got his own raiding party, destroying some buildings of Eery. Greeky is actually creating sacred deer versus a couple druids just for that food source, because yeah, it looks like he's used up all his berries, so really that's his only food income. Did scout the dock now. I like this. We see the temper upgrade in queue now for Greeky. Is there an armory for Eery? Just finishing his. See which upgrade he decides to get. And here we go. We might have our first big fight of the game. There's 3 druids actually in the army of Eery. And he has got 50 lawn swordsmen, so it's a fight Greeky does not want to take. Maybe if this temper upgrade finishes, he might have a chance. But I would really like him to have some druids in his army. And Greeky's army is a little bit out of position here. Looks like Eery might just try to snipe this town center, and oh, it's going down fast. He might lose a lot of his army, but he's going to get this town center, it looks like. Greeky is desperately trying to repair. I'd like to hear your guys' opinion in the chat. Was that worth it? Eery does lose like maybe half his army. Like if Greeky can trap this. And I think, yeah, Eery does escape with half his army, so it might have been worth it. So you can see it does pop cap Greeky quite a bit, and now he has to regather stone for that second town center. I actually like this by Greeky, the double storehouse on that gold mine. And he does do a good job of surrounding this army. Very nice surround there by Greeky. Yeah, Eery has to get out of here. Look at that queue for Greeky has been pretty idle for quite some time here due to all these raids by Eery, and he's getting more and more houses. There's 2 swan ships now on this pond. I don't. This is definitely not a fight Greeky wants to push into. And he hasn't responded to this little group of lawn swordsmen yet, losing even more houses, trying to throw down that, or rebuild that second town center. Looks like Greeky well cleaned this up, but these 11 lawn swordsmen of Eery have done great damage. Where are you going, army? Let's look at the armory text. Eery is getting scale mail now. Staff of the Ice King. That looks pretty cool on those druids. Greeky just kind of going through for a walk inside Eery's base, losing a couple lawn swordsmen here, but that's a big Eery force. Oh, we do see a nice little raid down here by Greeky, splitting off a couple lawn swordsmen. Some villager kills, 59 to the 70. Eery is sitting at 4 fishing boats. Do see Greeky's about to hit the Silver Age. He has a lot of gold, so he could get quite a few champion techs. Yeah, and he'll want to avoid this fight until he can get that Lawn Swordsman champion upgrade. Oh no, this is not a fight you want to take, Greeky. Heavily outnumbered. He's got so much resources in the bank, so much wood. He needs to throw down like 5 more barracks. It's gonna be a hard army to defeat. He's got combined arms and Lawn Swordsman champion in queue. He needs to avoid this fight. And Eery is fighting under 2 town centers. Greeky is losing a lot of villagers here. 15 seconds on that upgrade, but Greeky's losing his entire army. I mean, I think Greeky might eventually clean this up, but at what cost? I know he's just kind of bleeding in units. Eery's doing a good job looking for some straggler villagers. And Lawn Swordsman champion has finished for Greeky, but all of a sudden his bank is just replenished. He's doing a little raid himself, getting some good villager kills, but he probably could use those units at home now. I don't think there's enough infantry units here of Eery to take down those 2 town centers, but yeah, Greeky's too far behind. Good game. It was looking good for Greeky at the start, but good pushes there from Eery, especially after Greeky reached that Silver Age. look at the post-game stats. Resources fairly even. About 2k in favor of Eery. Tech-wise, Greeky actually had the edge. Even units kill, so it just kind of was good timing pushes there by Eery. Decent raids by both players near the end of the game. As you can see, yeah, some really good fights there by Eery. Very well played. Get ready for game 2. Looks like Greeky has chosen Mountain Crossing as the map. That's true, Ace. Eery cannot pick Celts anymore. We're actually going to have another mirror, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a Persia versus Persia on Mountain Crossing for game 2. Okay, here we go, game 2. So in the west of the map, in the color blue, we have Eery. And in the east, in the color red, we have Greeky. Both guys choosing the Persians for this map. Mountain Crossing is a fairly choky map. Either player only has a couple entrances into their, into their base. Makes this map famous is those back pawns. And there's a neutral pawn that either spawns in the north or the south of the map. Looks like it's spawned in the south this go around. We see the barracks opening by both players once again. And we really have to keep an eye on the spawns of this map. They can be a little bit buggy sometimes. Looks like Eery does have 2 entrances to his back pond. 1 hunt there for Greeky, 2 hunts for Greeky. Is there a hunt for Eery? He's got this one here. Wolves in a berry patch. Let's look at the wood lines. I don't see a second hunt for Eery. I mean, okay, it's back there. So I think we are good. Three golds. I mean, okay, does Eery have he has a second gold there. It looks good to me. I think we're good to go. So Eery actually already rallying some Sparbara forward. Now these guys, they have a ton of Pierce armor and super tanky units. Even in Sparbara fights, they can last quite a bit. So typically you see players just kind of ignore and go after those villagers. No dock yet for either player. Eery's scouting out the wood line of Greeky. Looks like he's going to try and deny this house, but yeah, let's retreat. Greeky doing a good, having a good response here, only using a couple Sparbar to track down the two of Eery, but now he is going to be outnumbered. No aid tent or hunting dogs for Eery. Same with Greeky. I mean, Eery is the aggressors, so aid tent wouldn't really be useful. 8 Sparabar to the 6 in favor of Greeky. Looks like Greeky does get the snare on that one Sparabara, and it looks like it will go down as the game's first human casualty. And Greeky's actually already kind of used up most of the deer on that hunt. It looks like 3 did wander off. Has done a good job already moving on to this next one. Still no dock for either player. You see a villager for Greeky going. Looks like he's going to build the dock on this neutral pond. Oh, accidentally rallying a second villager, it looks like. It's a little bit unfortunate. Greeky actually choosing to build a storehouse on this gold mine instead of going for some stone. Looks like Eery is long distance gathering some stone just to continue that Sparabara production. Of course, they only cost 10 gold, so you can kind of get away with doing that, at least in the early game. Now all of a sudden, Greeky's outnumbered. $12 Sparabara to the 14. Little game of chicken happening right now. 17 to the 15, so Eery does have the numbers advantage. See the first fishing boat for Greeky about to come out. Nice double storehouse there by Eery, allowing him to get these berries and the stone. 2 for 1. Always like to see those. Greeky does have a tent, and he has a second storehouse here. Looks like he was going to use it for these boars, but it might actually come in handy in this fight, allowing him to heal 2 units at a time. Good micro there from Greeky to avoid losing any villagers. See some fishing boats in queue for Eery now. He has docked his back pond. No dock yet for Greeky. Looks like Eery's on the way to scout out this bottom pond, so he'll know. You'll see these fishing boats, I believe. 23 Sparabara to the 20 of Greeky, but there is 2 aid tents, so this fight should be even. Greeky does have this defender's advantage, man. This is going to be the slowest fight in history. 17 for Greeky to the 20 of Eery. There's reinforcements though coming from Greeky. looks like it's kind of, even with the A-tent, it's snowballing in favor of Eery. Greeky's gonna have to get out of here. Okay, how is Greek? Eery has 2 barracks, allowing him to double out, or pump out double the spar bar count. And Greeky might be in trouble here. He is an H2. Eery's only halfway up. But there's really no hard counter unit to Sparabara in the Persian arsenal in the Bronze Age. Maybe Asabara would be the best. Like, Greeky is throwing down a tower, but like these guys have so much pierce armor. He's trying to throw down another barracks. And this was looking good for Greeky. Just throwing down 3 towers. And Eery's gonna deny all these. Ooh. Greeky wanted to use that stone for a town center. He does manage to get 1 tower up. Does have that second barracks. He just has to avoid losing too many villagers here. He is overgathering stone. You can see he's getting a little things are getting a little hectic in his base. It's hard for him to focus. He needs to pull these villagers off and put them on berries. Man, Eery's out for Blight, just rallying forward non-stop after Sparabara. Right now, these fishing boats for Greeky are keeping him in it. 2 more barracks being thrown down by Greeky. He knows he needs to get more units out. Eery's gonna try and deny this barracks. He might get it. Good move there by Greeky to move more villagers onto it. It's a little dicey there, but it looks like Greeky should be able to hold this now. Eery himself managed to get up to the Bronze Age, and now he has his second town center already up, so Eery is in a really good position now. And Greeky's sitting at 852 stone. Could use that to build some walls, maybe throw down an armory. He's hurting for wood though, for that's his second town center. Looks like Eery's trying to dock that bottom pond, and this is what you've seen players do more and more. They get that 1 fishing boat to long distance gather, but it allows them to see this. We just have to hope Greeky spots this blue dot on the blue water, and I don't think he has. Now there's 5 Asabara in the army of Eery, and no spearmen for Greeky, so he cannot fight these strong cav units of Eery. He's trying to switch over to spearmen, but Persian spearmen are pretty heavy on the gold cost, and he's only got 4 villagers gathering gold. You see a galleon queue for Eery, and this is gonna suck for Greeky. He hasn't noticed this yet. And there's 5 fishing boats here. He does notice it now. He's got a galleon queue of his own. He's gonna try and repair his fishing boats with each other. Actually good. He's repairing one and getting one to shoot. Let's try to get that HP bonus. Dropping down a second dock. A little bit of an Asabara raid. He's getting a couple of villagers. Let's have a look at the villager count. 44 to 52. Greeky actually does manage to take out the first galley, so now it's 1v1. And Greeky does have the healing option. He has to do something with these fishing boats, but he's kind of distracted by these Asabara. Eery has stopped galley production, so Greeky manages to hold onto that bottom pond. Let's have a a look at Eery's base. Lots of production buildings. He's got 3 archery ranges, 2 stables, 2 barracks. Pumping out a ton of units. Greeky, on the other hand, only sitting on 4 barracks and 1 archery range. Did see Sparabar champion in queue for Eery. Have a look at his storehouse techs. Did get handsaw, pickaxe, and picker's gloves. No 8-tent for him. Same upgrades for Greeky. Job avoiding any more villager kills. There's 6 spearmen. I don't know if that'll be enough to verse 10 Asabara though. They would trade pretty good, so Eery doesn't want to take that fight. So looks like Greeky's going to stick to the Sparabara, Spearman, and Bowman composition. While Eery's going more for what, like a 3-3-3 build. This kind of hurts to see. It looks like Greeky kind of overproduced galleys, building 2 extra, and those guys are going to be pretty much idle the rest of the game. There's 17 bowmen here in the army of Eery. Only 8 for Greeky, and he can't fight this. He needs to get back under town center fire. He's being attacked on both fronts. Eery is going to take out this guard tower. Man, Eery is playing so well today. Population of Greeky is just falling. There's a lot of blue units in his base now. Lots of bowmen. I mean, the melee units of Eery are slowly dying out here. 69 villagers to the 59. He is doing a good job of using this town center to focus down the bowmen of Eery. There's just way too many of them. 34 still alive. It's not looking good for our friend Greeky. Yeah, and there's the GG. Wow, really impressive game there by Eery with the relentless pressure. He's already transitioned to farm. So many military buildings. Got the armory upgrades. And he was just getting the armory upgrades now. Don't see an armory for Greeky. Just he couldn't hold that non-stop attack. So Greeky wants a 2-minute breather. He needs to go rewash his face, it sounds like. Let's see if he tells us that next map. Let's have a look at the post-game stats. 14-minute game. Eery almost up by 4k resources. Despite Greeky having that bottom pond, he did get outgathered in the food department. Yeah, lots of fishing boats too in the back pond. Didn't notice that for Greeky. Really well played. So a quick 2 games for Eery. So Greeky is up against the ropes in this one. I think Greeky's gone to wash his face, so we'll have to wait to hear his map choice, and then we'll get these guys to whisper their civs, and we'll get going into game 3. Okay, it looks like Greeky's has selected equal footing as the third map. Just gonna pull up the brackets real quick. Don't remember if these guys. Actually, never mind. It's not working. I don't know. Has the Eery and Greeky met in this tournament yet? If so, I think Greeky obviously did take it. Okay. Let's go and set this up. Here we go, game 3 on equal footing. Eery has chosen the Egyptians, a little surprised by that pick, and Greeky has remained or stuck with the Persians. So in the south we have Eery spawning in the color blue, and in the north in the color red we have Greeky. Greeky throwing down that early racks once again. Same with Eery, despite being Egyptian and having those weaker spearmen, but I think you kind of have to do that in this matchup. And this is a really nice opening hunt for Eery. 2 hippos that he can start shooting with his town center if he chooses to. Definitely going to see him get hunting dogs. So that's my prediction. Meanwhile, got 1 hunt there for Greeky, 2 hippos in the back, and another hunt there, so that's good for him. Have a look at the golds. There is 3 fairly defensible ones for Eery. Got a back gold for Greeky. I don't know where his third's at. Probably going to be over here. That's right. Yeah, so Greeky did knock Eery to the loser's bracket early in this tournament, so Eery's out for some revenge, and he's playing out of his mind so far in those first two games. Hopefully Greeky can get back in the series, though. There we go. We do see the hunting dogs. Oh, finished for Eery. You can see he did start picking away at this hippo with his town center, already at half HP. There's 4 spearmen already out on the field. And here comes the Sparabara of Greeky. Something. So hunting dogs does give villagers 100% damage versus hippos, so he could use these villagers just to kind of get a couple shots in on these hippos too to help these spearmen out. And Eery doing a good job of microwaving back these spearmen. Try to get this hippo as close, it looks like, to this berry patch as he can. He can always heal up these spearmen with that Priestess of Ra, which he's doing now. I guess, yeah, in that case, it's better just to keep these villagers gathering. Only loses a couple seconds of empowering time. Man, Eery's on top of his game. Doing a very good job of the scout, too, keeping tabs on these Sparabara. Knows exactly where Greeky is coming for attack. Greeky is trying to do like a two-pronged little raid here. Eery responds by splitting his own spearmen. No Temple of Ra just yet for Eery. Greeky does have the resources to age up if he so chooses. He's dropping that storehouse on the stone mine. Temple of Ra for Eery. Already has 3 villagers on stone himself. $11 Sparabara on the field for Greeky. To 11 Spearmen of Eery. And he has stopped Spearman production. He's about to hit that Bronze Age and we'll transition into the Axemen. Curious to see what his second military building will be, whether it'll be a stables or another Rax. I think the camels are a key unit for Egypt in this Bronze Age, especially in the Bronze Age for Egypt. Be interesting to see if Greeky chooses to make cav or not. Maybe he'll choose to stick with the infantry slash bowman composition. I do see some snowmen axemen here. Kind of rare to see snow for an Egyptian civilization. Villager counts 20 to 21. So I don't think Greeky managed to get any villagers, but he might get this. He does snipe the Priestess of Ra, which is a fairly nice pickup. But he is going to lose the rest of his Sparabara. And as we see in the first game, losing these early units is actually it's not a good thing, because now the military population heavily in favor of Eery population. 42 to 28. There's only like 1 Sparabara here, so Eery could counterattack. You might brush off these cheap Egypt units, but in mass they can still be fairly intimidating. You see archery range out for Greeky, so definitely the right building to fight the army of Eery. Do you see a second town center? Oh, I like the second town center for Greeky too. So much food here. There's only 1 bowman for Greeky. So he doesn't have enough yet to challenge this army of Eery. See a stables being built for Eery. Wonder if we'll see him build a couple slingers. So Eery is knocking down all these storehouses of Greeky, but they did allow Greeky to know where the Eery's army is. There's 6 bowmen now for Greeky, so yeah, these infantry units probably want to head home. Get the storehouse techs handsaw in queue now for Greeky. Meanwhile, Eery already getting hunting dogs, picker's gloves, pickaxe, and handsaw. So throwing out a second stable, so we're gonna expect to see a lot of camels in a bit here. He's starting to make some spearmen. Let's have a look at his vision. Did he spot these 2 stables? He hasn't, but I guess he just experienced in this matchup, knows what to expect. Eery kind of just patrolling Greeky's base, trying to see if he can find any straggler villagers to pick off. Does have a group of 4 camels now. I see a second archery range for Greeky. Throwing up an 2 double armory in the back of his base, actually. Third stables for Eery. No armory yet for him. Greeky getting a couple free shots on these camels. Yeah, Greeky is pretty confined to his base. He does have 2 more hippos here. A second gold mine, so he can actually sit in this position for quite a while still before he has to push out. And all of a sudden the population really in favor of Greeky. 51 villagers to the 42. Looks like Eery might be having a little bit of a food crisis. Is dropping a couple villagers. Do you see him on the way to the Silver Age, dropping down that Temple of Set? Yeah, trying to kite with these bowmen, get more free shots. Looks like Eery's content with just kind of trading this army at this point. Let's have a look at the armory upgrades. Barbed arrows and scale mail in queue for Greeky. More and more stables for Eery, so I wonder if he'll make a big chariot archer transition. Even more stables. Yeah, you can see in queue already 4 chariot archers. And Greeky's in a good spot right now, but the longer you wait, Eery's army is going to be quite powerful. Obviously, they're cav units too, so they have that mobility advantage. And there's 37 bowmen here. Greeky almost has an opportunity here to try and apply some pressure if he chooses to. Storing down some stables of his own. Doing a good job with his spearmen, keeping them on the flanks of his base. Scare off all those camels. See a little raid in the wood line, but with 8 tent, Greeky won't lose any villagers here. Yeah, it looks like these infantry units of Eery's days are numbered. There's gonna be 1 volley here, and that'll be the end of them. There'll be 5 chariot archers on the field for Eery. Temper and shield room in queue for Greeky. There is a lot of camels here. Pretty good defensible position though by Greeky, hiding behind those houses. The villagers now 68 to the 58, so Greeky up by 10. 2/3 of the way up to the Silver Age. Do see an armory built for Eery, but no Qs in, or no techs in queue. Is getting mounted training upgrade for his cavalry units. Hurting for a little bit of gold. Check his priestess of Ra. No techs yet for them. Looks like he's only has 2 to empower those town centers. Here we go. That's the thing with the chariot archers. There's 16 here for Eery, and he can just kite these units. And it looks like Eery is setting up for the camel flank. How many spearmen in this army for Greeky? Only 7 spearmen, so he's gonna have to be careful. There's quite a bit of camels. Oh. And this fight should go pretty good for Greeky. He does have Bowman Champion in queue. Probably wants to wait for that upgrade for fully committing. And Eery is retreating with his camels. He knows he's going to need them in this upcoming fight. Probably desperately wants to try and get Camel Rider Champion if he can, but he is hurting for gold. Looks like Greeky is setting up for the late game, throwing down a couple wall foundations. He will get this 3rd town center up, at least he should. Greeky is, or I mean, Eery does get a couple free villagers. Bowman Champion has finished now, and there is really no meat shield for these chariot archers. Greeky transition into spearmen, mounted archers, more bowmen. May want to train a couple Takabara too. Looks like Eery's transitioning into the farm economy. No plow yet though. There's 5 camels in Greeky's base. They are fairly weak. So far, no villager kills. This A-tent helping out a lot. They might get 1 villager here. Yep. Spearman, react. And Persian spearman with that 3.5 bonus versus cavalry. Well, we see, I guess the first real big fight of the game. 49 bowmen in the army for Greeky to the 21 chariot archers. Broadhead arrows in queue for Greeky. Let's have a look at Eery's armory. Just now getting the Egyptian dual armor upgrade. That's the thing. The longer Greeky takes to kind of really push into Eery's base, allows Eery to move around the map with his cavalry force and just get free villager kills, unit pickoffs. He might be trapped here though. I mean, he's going into Greeky's base. There is walls here. If Greeky can wall this off right now, it could be huge. So he might try and snare with these spearmen. And there is a fortress here, so this is a scary position for Eery. Oh, that was kind of cool. It looked like Greeky tried to build a quick wall with some guard towers just to block these units. But all of a sudden, Eery losing all of his chariot archers. There's like 4 that are like 1 HP. Greeky is trying to finish this wall down here. He has to cut this off. Cut this army off with your cav at least. Those units do get away. We'll have a look at the villagers. It's 87 to the 76. So Eery actually flipping the tables and going up 10 villagers. Looks like he's transitioning out to mostly camels. There isn't many mounted archers on the field for Greeky. Warehouse techs, really good. Economy upgrades for Greeky. Still missing horsemanship. Does have that 2k gold. Starting to throw down some markets. See that from both players actually. Meanwhile, Greeky in the main base of Eery, he's got a 49 bowmen here, but there is 2 town centers. And, oh man, so many camels. Overall, Eery will clean this up, but he does lose a lot of camels. I don't see Greeky kind of getting out of here. He's going to lose all those bowmen, and we do see the score dip by him. Well, clear up population for him to transition into mounted archers, though. All of a sudden, he's hurting for food and wood. He does still have 2 hippos on his base that he could utilize. Villagers to 81, so man, really close game so far. Cactus upgrade, I like that. So 2 markets for both players. First couple caravans coming out for Greeky. Got a lot of stone, he could throw down a couple guard towers here, maybe another fort. Even another fort here. Greeky now transitioning into that Persian cav army. Has to borrow unmounted archers. There's a couple Sparabara here too that she's probably doing a lot, helping a little bit. Yeah, looks like this fight's actually going pretty good for Greeky. I think he has the armory upgrades or advantage. Eery does have the Bronze Age techs, but Greeky on the other hand has all of Silver Age, so yeah, fight pretty much came down to armory upgrades. And just like that, Greeky back in this game. He was able to remass with a more powerful army. All of a sudden his eco is balanced out. Does need to get irrigation. I hope Eery for getting that plow upgrade. The longer that game goes on, the more that's gonna hurt. Greeky looks like he's gonna find the markets of Eery. He can't afford to lose this army though. One thing is these chariot archers are only what is it, 6 speed? But they're 9.4 speed? Yeah, okay, they're a little slower than mounted archers. I didn't think they were that fast still. So Greeky can run away. Thing is, camels are the fastest cav unit in the game. Only rivaled from raiders. Greeky just trying to focus down the caravans of Eery. Greeky is up on the way up to the Golden Age. Is there a Temple of Ptah foundation anywhere for Eery? Not yet. I like that Greeky is kind of pushing the tempo of the game now that he has that armory upgrade advantage. Despite being on the way up to the Golden Age, he is trading pretty well here in the front of Eery's base. It's also in the market route, or market line route of Eery. But yeah, she should probably retreat here, kind of stockpile some gold, get those champion, at least the champion. Did we miss that? Whoa, whoa, whoa! 2 rogue siege towers coming out of nowhere for Eery. Does knock out the markets of Greeky. Didn't notice that, I apologize, but I was wondering what happened to all of Greeky's gold. That could explain a lot. So this is a scary Persian force, though. This fight's gonna be pretty close. Iron smelting just about to finish for Eery. Still 16 mounted archers here for Greeky. Looks like he is gonna win this fight. I can only imagine if that iron smelting finished before that fight started, might have gone a lot better for Eery. Here we go, we see 2 more siege towers coming for Eery. These markets are just gonna get knocked down. That way, Greeky's sending over some Asabara in response, but they're not gonna get there in time. Kind of chaos at this point in the game. Units running around everywhere. Greeky desperately trying to keep this wall up. Does not want these 25 camels to run free in his base. I think these villagers deserve Medal of Honor. Repairing that wall the way they did. And Eery just non-stop pressure trying to keep these markets down for Greeky. Yeah, as you can see, only 32 gold. Look at the caravan numbers for Eery. It's like about 12 caravans for Eery. And Greeky's gonna need more than 1 layer of walls if he hopes to keep these markets up. He hasn't been able to get any Golden Age champion techs. He's doing a good job right now. He is, but he can't afford to lose this army. There's a lot of Eery camels here. 37. Looks like Greeky's selling some resources at the market just to try and afford more unit production. This is a good fighting location for Greeky, actually using these markets against Eery. I think Eery actually deleting that one market to help his camels get this around. Greeky is doing a good job of kiting, trying to get the most DPS he can. He does have 3 markets, so he should be able to pump out plenty of caravans, but it'll be a while until he feels the benefits of those. And more rogue siege towers, camels. Oh no. Eery is just not letting Greeky breathe. Mounted archers desperately trying to get over here to defend these caravans. Meanwhile, the main force of Eery knocking on the front door. Also, there's just not enough military out for Greeky. Needs to sell some of this food. These camel riders are now champions, so they have that pierce armor, or pierced damage resist. So they're actually training pretty effectively versus these mounted archers. And then if this market goes down, oh, he needs all these caravans. Oh, there was so much gold there that he actually saved it. 11 HP. That'll keep him alive for a little bit longer. Well, there's 87 villagers to the 83, so Greeky actually still ahead. But he has all his villagers kind of hiding inside this town center right now. mean, what does Persia need to do against mass camels? Just focus on mounted archers? Do you actually switch to spearmen? What do you guys think in the chat? Greeky does defend here. Did he rebuild this wall? He has to rebuild a market like here just to keep these caravans going. Because it's clear he can't really hold on to this position. Villagers desperately trying to put up more walls. Where are the Asabara? Same with Greeky 1 minute, or Eery 1 minute, he's attacking down here, then he's attacking back up front. Seven markets. This tells you how frustrated Greeky must be. Just throwing down as many markets as he can. 29 mounted archers here though for Greeky. Did get a lot of kills on those camels as they were trying to take down the wall. See the cactus upgrading queue for Eery, just about to finish, and now these camels are going to be so hard to fight. Somehow Greeky needs to get 800 gold for mounted archer champion if he hopes to stay in this game. These mounted archers are going to try and flank. Not many resources in the bank for Eery. He's doing a really good job of spending all his resources. Getting a Damascus steel now. Let's look in the armory. So he's starting all those golden age techs. Of course, Greeky hasn't been able to afford them because he's constantly losing his markets. And he's still getting 150 gold to these closer markets. There's a lot of caravans here. Just camels all over the place. Poor Greeky can't keep up. Just needs 50 more gold. He is max population now though. Sell some food, get that mounted archer champion upgrade. It's a lot easier. Now he's losing all his caravans. That Damascus steel upgrade, these caravans just drop so fast. Still see some siege towers in queue for Eery. He could switch to some catapults to maybe counter these mounted archers. And this whole time, his caravans have just been walking back and forth without any threat of danger. Like a game of cat and mouse right now. He just non-stop chasing around these camels. Trying to throw down another fort. He almost needs that fort here. Now all of a sudden his wood and food eco is hurting. How many villages does he have? 101 villagers still. The 97. I think all of that's like all camels. That's kind of weird. How come some caravans have 3 gold and some have 108? Oh my god, 2 more siege towers here knocking down all the markets once again. I think that might be the last straw. Once this last market goes down, I don't see how Greeky can continue. Oh man. Camels killing camels Cannibalism. Yeah, just non-stop pressure by Eery. Greeky can't seem to stabilize, and this is looking like a quick sweep, or a sweep for Eery. And as long as Greeky has this army alive, oh yeah, that's game. Wow, crazy play by Eery. Just didn't give Greeky any breathing room. Eery takes a series 3-0. Look at the post-game stats. Yeah, resources favor of Eery. You can see about 7,000 more gold. One thing I noticed in the series though is Greeky did a really good job of staying on top of his techs. Like I think he had the lead in every single game. Let's have a look at the villager population. Just yeah, constant raiding by Eery. Military population, really good fights for Eery. Greeky could just not get set up. This was a fairly open, equal footing. Like that's a lot of walls. Maybe it was a little bit of a map imbalance. There's a lot more forest here for Eery, so he doesn't have to wall so much. That's a lot of surface area that Greeky has to try and defend. Really well played, so it looks like Eery is going to advance to the grand finals versus Zerdan. That's taking place tomorrow. And I believe Star of Night is casting that, or maybe PF2K. That's going to be a best of 7. That's going to be a slugfest of a series as well, so be sure to tune into that. See if there's any other streams going to take place here. PF2K might be down, so we'll get that hosted. But that's going to be the end of the Winter Championships series today. Let's just see if anybody's hosting. Yeah, that was some really impressive gameplay by Eery as Egypt. I mean, I guess you guys could all raid COG. But it looks like there's not going to be any more PvP streams today, so thanks everybody for watching. Thanks again, Striker, for setting up this tournament. Yeah, so stay tuned for tomorrow for the grand finals. Okay, see you guys.